Binance's BNB token and Bitcoin tumbled after the crypto personality Cobie took a wild guess at whether or not CZ, Binance's CEO, there had been a red notice issued for his capture. Now, Cobie didn't actually say this and put it out on Twitter in a way that people were ever supposed to read. He was essentially making a note to himself in a public forum for future reference, should it come true, and he encrypted it. All he did was publish this long string of gobbledygook that was in fact a hash key, so that later, if in fact the rumor that he had gotten wind of was true, then he'd be able to go back and say, oh, look, see, I have proof that I predicted this. And he's claiming that somebody essentially got a hold of his seeds somehow and managed to decrypt the message, and then it got out in the wild and all heck broke loose. Now, of course, the CEO of Binance, not CEO, but a spokesperson, the strategy officer, Patrick Hillman, walked it back, said it was BS, and then proposed his own piece of whatever, that a law enforcement agent was illegally leaking elements of a case file through encrypted messages. And blah, blah, blah. So, David, I know you've got lots to say about this.
I want to talk about the Hillman tweet in more depth in a minute, because he actually did not dismiss the claims. I mean, it's really wild. But yeah, speaking of liquidations, this coded message that Cobie put out there, basically so that he could do a touchdown dance if it actually came true later on. This got unencrypted, and people opened up huge shorts, because obviously if CZ gets arrested, the market is going to take a hit. When it turned out that the headline we're seeing is that BNB rebounds. We saw a dip, but then when it turned out that this was not, based on any reality, things rebounded and those shorts got annihilated from what I'm seeing. And so, it's a real lesson here about rumors. Cobie is obviously very influential, but he is also just a guy who's on Twitter having fun. And so you really have to be careful about these signals and understand the context, right? Like, people, I think, probably mistook this for some secret knowledge that he actually had rather than just a rumor. And so that is a misjudgment that they're now literally paying for. So worth keeping. Will, what do you think about this?
Yeah, the whole thing was a little bit unfortunate. It does look, from what we've seen with Cobie's statements afterwards and then a few other people who posted some context here, it looks like some of the key pieces of information needed to be able to brute force hack this SHA-256 algorithm were out there, and someone was able to do that, basically back engineer it and figure out what the statement was. Once that statement was found, it was published on Twitter, which caused crypto prices to go all over the place. Just like the Dogecoin story we talked about 2 seconds ago, these crypto markets are very volatile, and someone who is perceived as in the know has information and it's published on Twitter, we see prices respond accordingly. Mm-hmm. The great thing about this is most people forget about it in a week. So I don't think we'll be talking about it in a week unless there is some sort of regulatory action against CZ and Binance, which, according to Binance, there's nothing going on right now. That Patrick Hillman tweet was a little weird, to say the least, and maybe we can get back to that in a second, but it was a little bit of an odd take. I think just overall, though, this is going to be a story that we forget about in a little bit. Cobie was doing his typical thing, right? He's done this many times in the past, but someone leaked the information, needed to brute force whatever was in the SHA-256, ended up being that pretty influential piece of information. But actually, we have to leave the show there for the day. Oh, just kidding. Actually, David, I'd give it to you for one more second.
Let me jump in real quick and comment on this Hillman tweet. So we had an incident recently where there were some questions around Binance moving some stablecoin backing. They had a very confused response. This is an incredibly confused response. Basically, what he's saying, at least as I read it, is it's either false or maybe law enforcement leaked information. So he's saying maybe it's true that my CEO has had a red notice issued or will soon. What the hell,
Unhinged.
man? It is so poorly thought out. What are you doing?
Well, he does say that number one, my bet is number one. My bet is it's BS.
Sure, but if you're the PR head for a company, Sorry, go ahead.
Well, here's the thing, though. If he wanted to really do some misdirecting and get people to stop looking at some of the stuff that we know is going on, what better way than to send us down a QAnon rabbit hole looking for a conspiracy where people, in the company or wherever are out there trying to, send out encrypted messages on GitHub that
Let me just
exist.
say very clearly, if you're the head of PR for a major corporation, you do not even publicly entertain the possibility that your CEO is about to be arrested by international law enforcement.
We gotta go.
There is no profit in that.